What is going on YouTube? Is FlopFish here, and welcome to another NHL 14 Hut Player Review. This week we are doing Logan Couture of the San Jose Sharks, who's definitely one of my more favorite players to use, as he's a very crafty player in this game. Before I get into that, let's get into some background information about Logan Couture himself. He is an 89 overall center playmaker, and you can generally find him on the market between about 65k and 70k, so he's definitely priced fairly well for his overall. His skating is 87, his shot's 88, his hands are a 90, his checking is an 83, and his defense is an 88. He's also 6'1" and 200 pounds and a left-handed shot. As well, on top of that, in-game, his face-offs seem to be about an 80 overall from what we could find. And yeah, so overall, he's a very solid player overall-wise and stat-wise. And realistically, that holds very true into his game. And as I mentioned, he's a very crafty player. And what I mean by crafty is that he's very good at making something out of nothing in this game. He's one of those players that I like to have out there to kind of have fun with and just kind of fool around with, as I feel like his deking is top-notch in the game, as well as his speed and everything else involving that. The first thing you're going to notice about Logan Couture is right when you take a face-off, he's got average face-offs at an 80. He's going to win some, he's going to lose some, and I was more or less 50% on the draws with him, and I consider myself fairly decent at face-offs in the game. So maybe slightly below average as far as for me at using it as a face-off as a centerman. But what I really notice about him, as you can tell in these clips here, is the fact that he is really good puck control, and he's very strong on the puck and hard to knock off it. And that's probably the biggest strength to him, is that he's so hard to knock off the puck, and combine that with his deking and his speed. He's a very good player at acceleration and kind of hitting that top-notch speed, and he's very crafty. His dekes are very good, and like you can see here, you can pretty much make something out of nothing and get a pretty good clip in doing so. That's what I really enjoyed with him, as he seemed to always be, in that position to kind of make that nice little play that you can catch your opponent off guard and create a lot of space for you to score a goal. He's also very good at in-tight corners and cycling the puck, something that really suits the strong points of my game personally. But he's also a very good player on the rush with his speed and with his strength and with his size. Now, the con to him is overall his defensive play to me wasn't outstanding. It was one of the things that, if I'm going to be using him, I'm definitely not going to be trying to use him in a penalty killing role for the most part, unless I want to have a good strong counterattack on the penalty kill. But for the most part, his defensive play was kind of lackluster for me. And his stats kind of give off more of a two-way forward kind of sense to me, as opposed to a playmaker. But definitely the playmaker holds true for him again. So don't expect him to be as good defensively as he is in real life, but think of him as a very crafty player, kind of like a poor man's Datsuk would be kind of where I'd value him at in this game compared to NHL 13 at least. Again, very strong on the puck, very hard to knock off the puck. He's got a very good slap shot and a very good wrist shot, as well as very good deking. And one of those players that overall, I think if you're going to want to have a fairly solid NHL squad, he's one of the players, if you have the pucks for him, I would highly suggest you use him. So let's get into his categories here. As far as his speed goes and his skating goes, I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. It was something that, it was definitely above average, and like Ovechkin, it was very similar to Star of the Week, Team of the Week Ovechkin, as far as his speed and acceleration goes. Again, he was very good on the puck. His shot, I'm going to give him a 9 on his shot. And his slap shot, although I don't have any highlights of it in here, is very good. I scored, I think, 2 or 3 goals with his slap shot in the 3-4 games I played with him, and it was honestly very amazing. I've used him on both consoles, and he plays the exact same on both consoles too. He plays a little bit faster on Xbox, I want to say, but the game on Xbox in general plays a little bit faster. So just something to keep in mind. If you do like to have a little bit of a faster player on the Xbox side of things, I definitely highly suggest running him. Yeah, so overall shot 8.5, 9, probably a 9 out of 10. His hands I'm giving a 9.5 out of 10, just because he's very hard to knock off the puck, and he's very good at deking. I never really lost the puck with him. Actually, I don't even think I lost the puck with him once. Again, his checking was below average to me, or not below average, but just average. So I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10, 5.5 or 6 out of 10, because while he wasn't making any big hits, he put enough contact to stay in there, And really his checking stats for me were just about him staying on the ice and being hard to knock over, which is very, very true. Yes, he'll get knocked over, but it has to be a pretty clean hit in order for it to happen. And his defensive stats, you know what, I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10. They weren't amazing, but they were solid enough. He was picking up some pucks when I needed him to, and other than that, that's about it with him. So overall, I'd say, you know what, he's one of the craftiest players to get, and a very good poor man's stat suit. Very good player to pick up for the price. Anyways, guys, this has been a review of Logan Couture. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'm just going to go over his stats right here at the end of the game, showing you how he played in this one game for me. Anyways, as always, take it easy, and peace out.